Woohoo! Hey, it's Sunday evening. It's Sunday evening. It's Sunday evening. It's Sunday evening. Time for us to talk a little bit about what's coming up next week. To talk a little bit about what's coming up next week. Hey, y'all. Hey. Let's give a minute for all the platforms to tell all the people that we're here. Tell all the platforms that we're here. Hope y'all are having a really good weekend so far. Everybody having a good weekend? I sure hope so. Uh-oh, I got the hiccups. I have the hiccups. That is not good when you're getting ready to go on live. Having the hiccups, the hiccups is not good. Hey, Hello Ward. I think you made it first this time. Let me see. I think you were first. Yep, Ward was first. Julie, hey Julie. Selena made it in. Good afternoon, good evening. Hello. And Leho, hello. Good evening, y'all. Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? Hope you got some time away from your screens this weekend. I always try to take a little bit of time where I don't have my computer open, even though I have to go to my computer for things that are non-trading related, like probably most of us do. I've been grading papers this weekend. You know, we took final exams last week, and I've been grading papers in preparation for turning in my grades. And yeah, I graded 2 sets, got those all put in, got those grades already. I got 2 more sets to grade because I teach 4 classes, and I have to have those in. I'm hoping it's by Tuesday morning and not Monday morning, because if it's Monday morning, I'm gonna be running behind. I need to find out for sure. Usually we get till Tuesday morning to have our grades in. I need to check that to make sure they're not looking for them by tomorrow morning, because if they are, your girl got to get busy. Okay. But that's what I was doing, was grading papers. So then I did some work and some shopping. Yes, I'm not looking forward to the shopping, even though I don't really do a whole lot of Christmas shopping anyway. I'm not a big Christmas shopper anyway. I don't really spend a lot of time in the stores and the streets. I'm one who will shop online and find what the children want, and then my children are adults anyway, and have it sent to the house, have it sent here to the house. And or we'll shop, like when I was talking to my grandson who is 12, and was like, okay, what do you want? He gave me a very short list, but he's coming to visit. And I was like, how about you and grandma just go shopping when you get here? And he was like, okay, that works. So we'll just shop live. We'll shop while he's shopping, and he can pick what he wants, and I can just pay for it. It'll be easier that way for both of us. Instead of me getting stuff that I hope he likes. 12 is that age where you think they like, but not really, and they open it and go, oh, hey, thank you, and they don't really like it, but they don't want to say they don't like it. So I'm gonna save myself and let him just pick it. Hey, Delightful Roots, how you doing? Yep, I'm just gonna go and let him pick it, and if he picks it for himself, then I'll know that he likes it. When we went school shoe shopping before he went back home for the school year, we walked the mall, and he looked at these shoes, that shoes. Finally, okay, Makai, what are you getting? And then he got 2 or 3 pair. And then it's like, okay, if you pick out what you want, we got a better chance, number 1, of you wearing it. Number 2, of you not wasting my money. How about we do that? So that's what we did. That's what we did. That's what we'll do for Christmas. Same thing. We'll do the same thing for Christmas. It'll be easier that way on grandma. So much easier on grandma. So I hope y'all had a good weekend. Got yourself, hey April, got yourselves all up and ready for what the market has to offer us this coming week. Listen, We did some good work, as they say these days. We did some good work this week. We did some good work this week. I'm gonna share with y'all how the week went. Yes, I'm is. Yes, I'm is. All right, let's get rocking. Let's get rolling. Because at 6 o'clock, well, before that, I'm gonna be going off here before that because at 6 o'clock I meet with my members, and we're gonna be with the members then. Where'd my little pen go? Oh, so I can highlight my copy trade and trades. I got to keep that highlighted in my book so I'll know which is. So we'll know talking about our copy trading money. That copy trading money was all right this week now. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it. Ooh, baby. I'm gonna talk about it. Let me get myself together. Okay, here we go. So last week in SPX, because that is primarily what we trade, we did have FOMC on Wednesday last week. FOMC notice we found out that we were going to rate cut 0.25 basis points, 0.25% basis points last week. That's what they told us. And the market did a little something. We didn't really trade that day while we decided no reason to stand in front of the bus. Just wait and see. So we didn't really trade. I didn't really trade much on Wednesday. And then we traded all around it, but not really much on Wednesday because there's no reason to put yourself out there if you don't have to, right? But according to the week, this is the weekly chart I'm on. And this week it gapped up on Monday. 68.75 is where it opened. It did go up as high as 69.04 throughout the week. It came down and closed. Well, actually went down as low as 68.01. That actually was it was Friday, Lord have mercy. And then it recovered and closed at 68.27. That was Friday. Oh, Lord. Oh, it was stressful. I say. Okay, so here we go for the week. This was Monday. Monday was a red day. Opened at 68.75, closed at 68.46, so about 30 points down. Tuesday was a doji of all doji. I think it closed within 30 or 40 points. I believe I talked about 30 or 40 cents. I talked about it on Wednesday morning, how it closed literally within pennies. The opening close was within pennies. And then on Wednesday, it gapped down, but then recovered that and ran all day, all the way up to just above 6,900. Ran up just above 6,900. And then on Thursday, now this was FOMC day, was Wednesday. And then on Thursday, gap down, recovered. Well, gap down, went down, recovered all of that, and went up as high. Of course, I get on with y'all and start yawning. Went up as high as 69.03, 69.03 and some change. That's as high as it went on Thursday. That was the high of the week. Basically back to an all-time or more recent time high. Friday, gap down, still recovered the gap, most of the gap that it had left with the gap down, but then it fell for the rest of the day. And oh my, it just kept going and kept going and kept going down to 68.01. I believe I said the low 68.0179, and then it recovered. Friday was a bit rough. Why did I say it was rough? Okay, because Friday was the day that we officially started copy trading, right? So we did some beta testing on Tuesday. We did a beta test on Tuesday to make sure that all the accounts were copying as they should. If there was any glitches, any problems or whatever, we wanted to catch them early. So we beta tested, on Tuesday, and we beta tested on Thursday, giving ourselves opportunity to see if there was any problems. People could start to see if their accounts had issues. We could iron all that stuff out before our official start on Friday. Friday was our official start, and we started off fine. First trade, fine. I put in our second trade, then the bottom fell out. Let me go to a smaller time frame so y'all can see what actually happened. Oh, Lord. And our Father, Our Father is one of the best. Listen, I wouldn't serve another Jesus. I wouldn't serve another Jesus. Okay. But this is what happened. We entered, this is Friday. Entered a call credit spread in this window of time. Might have been in the 15 minutes, 45, somewhere in here. Entered a call credit spread and then was looking for a put credit spread because I was doing a wide iron condor strategy and put that on. And as soon as I put that put credit spread on, then these next big candles started to drop like big time. Bump, bump. And it's like, ooh. And then I thought it was going to recover here, but it kept falling some more. And we had like 68, 20, 25. And at the time I put the trade on, I even said 60, 68, 25 seemed so far away. At the time I was saying it, the price was like 68, 80 when I was saying it. And the price, this big old monster candle right here took us right into encroachment zone. It's like, are you serious? So then it fell on in here. Whew. I could have closed the trade in that window of time, but I didn't want us to right off the rip take a loss. So I gave it some time to recover. It did recover. I was able to PDT hack it for a smaller loss, a much smaller loss. When it recovered here, I was able to PDT hack it for a smaller loss. And then it fell some more, but it did recover at the end of the day, but it fell down again into the 11s. It just I wouldn't have been able to. I was struggling enough back here. My emotions was on 10 back when it was down in the 68.01 and we had 68.20 and 25. It's like, this needs to recover. So it did recover and I got us out of that trade. Once again with a smaller loss. No reason to sit around trading on hopium. That is not a way to trade. We don't trade on hopium. And then it did recover. And if somebody didn't, well, everybody who was copying, of course, got out when I copied. But if you were trading on your own, because in my membership, I also do that as a call out. So in my membership, they have the opportunity to get in and get out on their own. So they decide, well, I call it out. But if you decide you're going to just hold on steady, you can hold on. Or we have some guidelines for exiting. Our exit criteria says that if our sell leg is breached, if our buy leg is breached, we're supposed to leave that trade. That is our trading plan. That is our trading plan. We were breached so early. It was 11 o'clock, but when we were breached, I decided to take the educated route of giving it more time. I said, we got 5 more trading hours. SPX can recover. And then all these wicks started showing up and I was like, okay, this is good. It can recover here. And it did take a turn back up. It never did go back above VWAP really well though. It got to VWAP and then it bounced back. It rejected VWAP. So I did see when we got up here to where it was coming back into VWAP, I was hoping it would go on across VWAP and then we'd really be out of the woods. But when it started rejecting VWAP here at 130, that's when that for me was strong indication that we needed to go. Right. If it had gone across VWAP, I might have left it going. But when it showed that it was rejecting VWAP, then we exit stage left, even though our trading plan said we would have exited back there. But I held on till here, and then that trade ended up being profitable, and we ended up with a profitable day. We ended up with our copy trading ended up being profitable for the day. I ended up with trading three trades. I took 3 trades on Friday in copy trading. Hey Perry, I took 3 trades on Friday. I profited $75, and all the people who copied with me also made $75. 125 units copied my trades. And when I say 125 units, it's because some people have 1 unit, some people have 2, some people have 5, some people even have 20. I have a person that is copying that has 20 units, which means for every 1 contract I trade, that person trades 20 contracts. If you're doing 5 units, when I do 1 contract, that person's account does 5. So if I have a win at that amount, they get 5 times the profit. But if we take a loss, they're taking 5 times the loss. So when I say units, that's how many single units. So when we add that up, 125 units copied on Friday. at $75 each. $9,300 were made collectively on Friday. And everybody who was copy trading, they all didn't copy trade on Friday because some people's money is still settling at Tradier. So their accounts are not ready to copy trade. Hopefully they'll all be ready by Monday, right? But on Tuesday, we had 47.50 in collective profits. And on Thursday, we had 46.40 in collective profits. The total of our 3 days, basically 3 days of copy trading last week, $18,000. $18,690 in profits were made from copy trading. Now, each person is not, of course, not getting that. They're getting it based on what their units are. If I make $50, you got one unit, you make $50. Passive money, which means you're not doing shiggity. You're not doing anything but looking at the account and seeing if it goes well. That's all the person is doing, is just nothing. They're doing just nothing, right? So this is passive profits. So we did 3 days last week, right? And if you decide you want to join us, maybe you were just, let's see how this gets started. Maybe you were just thinking, you just see how it gets started. You can still join us. And if you're already copy trading, you can always increase your number of units if you'd like. I told you there's people who are doing 1, people who are doing 2, people who are doing 5, and there are people who are doing 20. Okay. It's humbling to know that. That's humbling to know that someone or someone's are like, I'm willing to go 20 times what you do, win or lose. I'm willing to ride with you times 20. I'm like, wow. Okay. So that's where we are. Okay. So basically we're helping as many folks as possible to get this stock market money, hands-free, passive profits. This is automated for all the people who are copying besides me. The only person who is actively trading is me, right? That's everybody. Everyone else is just enjoying the reaping the benefits. Everyone else is just reaping the benefits of that. Okay. That's what happened last week. In copy trading, and we will continue. There's no deadline to starting copy trading. You can join whenever you want, right? We're going to continue to do this till the Lord says otherwise, and you can join whenever you're ready. It's just, people like, I'm gonna wait till after Christmas. Well, shoot, by the time we get to Christmas, we're gonna be done made some of that Christmas money. By the time we get to I'm waiting to the new year. By the time we get to the new year, we're gonna be done made some of that money. Yes, we are. Oh, I wanted to tell you though, our list for last week went really well too. Our trades list, 77% win rate. We had a couple or 3 that were partially breached. I think Google ended in the 309 area. It stopped in the 309, the upper 309. So it actually, if you had stayed in the Google all the way, you would have only lost a few dollars. Thank you, Selena. Yes, thanks for hanging out with us. And Snow was breached on the put credit spread side, and UNH was breached on the call credit spread side by a little bit. But 77% win rate, 10% of the 10 of the 13 trades were profitable last week on the trades list. I don't have one for this coming week because when I went looking at the watch list, I didn't see enough really to put together. I should have captured the list on Friday before the market closed, but I didn't, because on Friday, by the time I got to 4:00, your girl was whipped. I had used up my entire store of energy. I had used it all up. By the time I got to 3 something ish, I had done used up all I had. I used up all I had when the market dropped and then came back. I had all of my virtue. All of my virtue had left. I used all my good prayers. I said, Lord, please, we cannot take a loss on day one. We cannot take a loss on day one. That's not how we gonna start this. That's not how this is gonna go, Jesus. This is not how this can go. You ever prayed like, Lord Jesus, I know you hear me. That's the way Friday went. But it was good. As David said, it was good for me that I was afflicted, because then I would not have seen your mercy. but it forced me to put in some additional, gave me a chance to really look and see, and I put in some additional guardrails for how I'm going to trade that account, because I had some guardrails already in place and had some thoughts and plans that I had written down, but it even made me get even tighter on those guardrails for the copy trading account. So it was good. It was good that on day one, the Lord allowed us to have what we had, so that on day one I could write me some more notes, which they are right here by me. I could write some more notes on how we're going to trade that copy trading account. Yeah. Martez said how he'll be joining soon. Yeah. Selena said I was preparing for a successful day. That's what I told the people who were in our copy trading. I appreciate those prayers, Selena. The people who are in the copy trading Telegram, I was like, if you just go watch your trader account, at least pray while you're watching. Send up a prayer. Our collective prayers are going to move the throne. Okay, we need to all be praying at the same time so that the Lord will hear our faintest cry and answer by and by. Okay, my children were praying, my husband was praying. We everybody on the line. Let's get this. Let's get it. So it's all good. I'm making light of it, but I'm not making light of it, because that really is a lifestyle for me. Not just when things are not going well, but I always pray and trade, because this right here, this market right here ain't to be trifled with. Lisa said our Father is faithful, and is right. This market is not to be trifled with, but we've taken the time to see what there is to see, and we know what we're looking at. We just got to execute when we see what we're looking at. So there's that. Okay. There is that. Alrighty, so that's how things went last week, and I showed you our trades list. So let's go looking forward on what's coming up this week. Let's go on to see what's on the horizon for this week. Okay. But yeah, if you want to come on and join us in copy trading, feel free. We got copy trading, and we've got the membership. We've got both of those things running at the same time, and always open. They're always open. We've got intake processes that bring you right into both of those things. All right. Sure. Okay. Okay, here we go. Not very hawkish at all. Wall Street is optimistic for the 2026 market rally. Adding to the momentum, comments from Chair Jerome Powell, I almost said Colin Powell, came across as less hawkish than expected. Okay, crypto winter could spur Darwinian phase for digital asset treasury firms. I think crypto was at 89. Isn't it falling off a little bit? I saw something come across my phone. Making sense of the risky Netflix Warner Brothers deal. Trump has his said. Okay, wait a minute. Maybe Trump has said tariffs could pay for at least 9 different things. Okay, Trump's Fed chair pick comes into focus the week ahead. The U.S. labor market ground to a halt in 2025. Will it crack in 2026? That whole energy thing, I feel like we got to keep our eyes on energy, especially as we keep going with the AI boom, because we still need all the energy that's going to power that. We still need that. Okay, so y'all keep your eyes on energy. Keep your eyes on energy. Let's go see. Trump wants U.S. shipbuilders to be great again. Here's what it will take and what's at stake. Person of interest detained in the Brown University shooting that killed 2 and wounded 9. End of the Berkshire Way. Combs' departure isn't only big change as Buffett transition nears. Let's see if anything was interesting there. 3 dividend stocks for enhanced returns. This is on CNBC. Let's look at the calendar. Monday, Empire State Manufacturing Index. FOMC member Moran is going to speak. National Association of Home Buyers is not with the Housing Market Index. That's all Monday. FOMC member Williams and Moran are going to speak again. Okay, that's all Monday. Tuesday, we got some red folders. All right. Non-farm employment change, retail sales, unemployment rate. Oh, PMI. I knew there was something else in there. PMI is also on Tuesday, right? Lots of red folders on Tuesday. Lots of red. 8:30 is the unemployment stuff. 9:45 is PMI stuff. Okay. That's all happening on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we got some FOMC folks talking. Thursday, we've got CPI, core CPI, and CPI month over month, some more unemployment claims. The Philly Fed is also in here. And then Friday, existing home sales and the University of Michigan stuff happens. So we've got CPI, PMI, and unemployment this week coming right after FOMC from last week. So we have to keep that in mind as we move forward this week, okay? Let's go see what earnings we have. Not a whole lot for earnings, but Monday we've got MindWalk and OPT. After close, Abivax and Navan. Tuesday, Duluth Trading, Organogram. Tuesday after close, Lennar, that's a home builder. And Worthington, don't know what that word is underneath there. Enterprises, maybe. Wednesday, we've got Jabil, General Mills, Toro, Spire, ABM, Viru, and Neuro One. Wednesday after close, Micron, MU, Interpack, Miller Knoll, and Worthington Steel. That's all Wednesday after close. Thursday morning, Accenture, FactSet, Darden Restaurants, CarMax, Centis, Birkenstock, Fuel Cell Energy, another energy one I was just talking about, and ISSC. Not sure who they are. Thursday after close, Nike, FedEx, BlackBerry, KB Home, Scholastic, Mission, and Heiko. Friday morning, Carnival, that's the cruise line people, Conagra, Lamb Weston, Paychex, and Winnebago. I guess the only one you really would anticipate out of this list is maybe some of these home builders and Micron. Those are the only ones I think you would anticipate for this week. Maybe. Those would be the only ones, okay? All righty. Let's go look at some more stocks from the week. SPY. Oh, let's see what SPY did. It's probably going to look a lot like, and not probably, it's definitely going to look a lot like, I'm going to go to the daily. SPX. Look at that Friday candle. Ooh. You know what? The one thing that happens though, and you all may already know this, but when you're in a trade that you're hoping goes right, well, you can't see what another opportunity, and you can't see other opportunities because all this red on Friday was an opportunity for some bearish trades, but because so much mental and emotional energy for me was being put on the reversal, can't even ponder and think about doing bearish trades because you're just like, I'm just wanting this one to do right. One of the things I tell the people in my membership is sometimes it's best to turn off a trade that's not going your way, so that way you can use that mental energy onto a trade that to go ahead and mitigate and work back on mitigating and making profits. I won't say getting back the money, but making profits that are successful trades. Because when you're in a trade that's not going so well, you'll spend a lot of mental and emotional energy hoping that trade gets right, when you could just close that one and go the other side. So that's one of the things that got written on my trading plan for that account again. So because you don't want to hang into a trade very long, and then because then you're putting energy there. So SPY on the last week, right? We got a little bit here. Maybe support at 680. Price did drop down into 679 and some change and then recover. It closed at 681.76, which is a bit of a support in that area as well. That's a kind of a zone in there where there was some support, and it closed right in there. The high for the week was 688.88. Yep. And the low for the week would have been 679.17. Let's look at Triple Q. Should look a lot like SPY. Oh, not a whole lot like SPY. It doesn't look a whole lot like it. Okay, there was a gap up here that never got filled. Maybe a little bit of it got filled on Wednesday, but there's a gap up here. There's a little bit of a gap here that's still waiting too. Little bit of a gap between, oh, there's a bigger gap. Take that back. There's a big gap. Close of one candle to the open of the next is how you draw a gap. Close of one candle to the open of the next. So there's actually the gap there. From Thursday to Friday, there's that gap. This one back here is closed. It's closed. And this one here is also closed. There's a gap down here that is not closed. So now Triple Q is caught between two gaps. The high of last week was 629. Is that 6? Yeah, 629.21. And the low of last week was 611.36. Right? Got some supports here. Support right where it closed on Friday, 613.62 is a support from the first week of December. There was a gap in here that got filled on Friday. With Friday's price action, I'll just show it to you so you can see what I'm talking about. That was a gap that had been hanging loose. This gap here had been hanging loose for a little while, and the price on Friday came right back down to it. Just know that all gaps don't get filled immediately, but all gaps pretty much get filled. That's a volume imbalance, and it definitely gets filled. They get filled. IWM has been on a steady little climb for the small caps. The small cappers. It's been steadily climbing. Steadily climbing up. I'm climbing up on the rough side of the market. Yep. So the high of the week for IWM was 258 and some change, but it hit that on Friday and dropped all day long. It hit that and dropped all day long, all day. All day long it dropped on Friday. Well, along with everything else that dropped all day long. Okay. Closed on Friday at 253.85. Looks like there's a gap down here that does still need some filling. So I'm going to make sure that it stays on the chart. Yep. There's that. Let me see. Is there any more? Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Well, nope. There's an itty bitty right here. Let me make sure that we make sure this one stays on the chart. Because when sometimes you'll see the price moving, going somewhere, and you're like, where is it going? And if you have it on your chart, you'll be able to see that it's going after a little bitty gap down there. It's like, there is something down here. It's going back to get it. I'm going back to Cali. It's going back to Cali. Yep. Sometimes it's going back to Cali. Okay. That's all the indices. Selena said, who left the gate open? Remember that, BET? Yeah. Dude. Yep, who left the gate open? And it definitely fell right on through the gate. Like, well, come on. Y'all supposed to be watching. Y'all supposed to be watching, and they weren't watching. Yes, sir. They were not watching. They weren't watching. All righty. I've covered what happened last week. I talked about what is coming up this week. Right? Wanted to make sure that we were snapping up and all the things for the copy trading. If you want to come on, join us over there, you're welcome to come join us. Copy trading is not replacing the membership. The membership is not replacing copy trading. The two things are happening together. Copy trading is where we're doing earning. I am not doing any teaching in the copy trading arena. I do not teach in copy trading. All you're doing there is copying. If you want to learn about what we do here, that is happening inside of my membership. right? If you want to learn what's going on, we're learning in the membership. That's where we're learning, is in the membership. All right. We learn SPX, XSP, IWM strategies. How do we manage credit spreads? How do we work our charts? How do we utilize Gamma? We're learning all the things over in there to help us to be good traders. How do we know when to enter, when to exit, when to add to our trades? This is what we're learning over in the membership. All right. We have a nice little collective community of people who trade together, learn together, earn together, all those great things. That's all happening in the membership. Copy trading is just that. You're just copying. If you want to learn, that's not the place. We're just earning over there. Okay. You can join us in the membership, www.e2t.trading. And there are people who are doing both. They're in the membership and they are in copy trading. There are people in both places, which is a great thing to be, because my desire, I'm an educator, and I really would like for you, the people who are following, to be able to learn what's going on. But you can earn while you learn, or you can just earn and say, I'm not ready to learn yet. All I want to do is earn. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. But at some point, I really would like for you to want to learn. And when you're ready, we'll be here to teach you. All right. Whenever you're ready, we'll be over here to teach you. Okay. So I've covered what I'm going to cover for today. I will be back on YouTube in the morning, 8:30. I'm here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30 at this point. And I think that is going to continue. I've seen my schedule for next semester, and I believe it's going to allow for me to continue to do that even into the new year. So that's the plan. I'll keep doing that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30. We come right on here and do our thing. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And I will do that again in the morning. But when I get off here, I'm going to hop on with my members, and we're going to do our regular weekly charting and training call, where we look at the charts that we need to check out for the week, make sure that we're prepped and ready for what is coming the next day or days. Right? And we do whatever training on our strategies that we need, or questions answered. We do all those things in the charting and training call every Sunday. All right. So if all is well, all is well. If y'all need me, make sure you like and subscribe, check all the bells, hit the notification, thumb up, all the good things that you're supposed to do on YouTube. Right. And if you need to talk to me, send me an email, send me an inbox, do all the things. All right. I will see you all in the market. Let's stay green and let's get this money. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Bye-bye.